Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. I have with me a very special guest. He was one of the 5 top psychics in Houston for 2023. So, you're getting somebody really, really good. Say hello to Ferny Marron.
Everybody,
Hi, hi. I hope you're doing well. Things are things are busy for you.
yeah, 100% busy. I think a lot of things during the summertime, a lot of people are trying to figure some things out. A lot of people's jobs are changing. People are relocating, moving. So it's been a busy summer to say the least.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's been a jam-packed full summer
Hmm.
of all kinds of different news and things that are going on in the world. And some of them that we've been waiting for, some of them that are totally unexpected, like, oh my gosh, the fires in
Hawaii.
Maui. Oh,
Yeah,
that just
heartbreaking.
absolutely, absolutely. And then we've had fires up here in Alberta, in BC. It's
Hmm.
been raging. So yeah, absolutely. It's been just incredible. So lots of life changing moments for people.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
know,
think when we look back in history and we look at tragedies or periods of time where a bunch of horrific things just happen because of, life happens. And
yeah,
we always think, oh, we're gonna learn and do better and make things better so that these things don't happen again. But when you look at what happened in Hawaii, where, there was kind of really no system set up to deal with that kind of situation.
yeah,
It was just heartbreaking to see that was I was in when I was in London about 3 weeks ago, and I went on a tour, and they were talking about the fires in London and how a large percentage of the population was homeless after the fires. And there was
yeah,
a lot more people who passed away in those fires than what was publicly stated because they were just trying to make it sound better than it was because they didn't want surrounding countries to feel as if they had lost
yeah,
their fighting force. So they had kind of downplayed how many people died in those fires, and they were displaced, and they had to move to different parts of the country. So it's heartbreaking to see when that many people are affected by such a huge tragedy.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And even though a lot of people are going through the same experience, it's different for every person.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot of emotion involved. And plus, I think we're going through another, what do I want to call it? Not a transition, but sort of another upgrade in
Mm.
spirituality. Over,
Mhm.
yeah, the last couple weeks have been just incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff going on. So
With spirituality, the footing or the root of spirituality can grow from dark moments in our lives. And I think for myself, the reason why I even looked to spirituality to trying to connect with source and with, what is beyond
yes,
this world. I was brought up Catholic and I grew up in the church, but they didn't answer my questions. There was always this dogma and
yeah,
system in place that kept you apart from the maker and from the creative
yeah,
source of life. And I was always looking for reasons why. Like, why? I want to know why. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Because I endured so much hardship, so much
yeah,
sadness and abuse and just pain and suffering in my life in my childhood, and I was always looking for reasons why.
yeah,
And it wasn't until I went
yeah,
within that I started to find those reasons, and I started to connect with something that really helped me to understand all of that. And now I try to give everyone a sense of what that was for me, because it's really easy to look for connection when everything's going well, but most people don't look for connection when things are going well. People just enjoy things when they go well.
exactly,
They're not looking for
exactly.
answers or for connection. It's when things are not going well that can cause a sprouting of connection and spirituality within the human mind and heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of the readers that I have encountered over, well, the last couple of years since I've been on YouTube is, yeah, you ask people when they, you go on their show, they come on your show, and it's like, okay, how did you get here? What happened? And it's like 99% of the time, it's they have come to this after like that, dark night of the soul.
Mm-hmm. Tragedy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's when you're the most vulnerable that you can
Mm-hmm.
hear what spirit is trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely. So, this is a it's an interesting time, but it's a time I think that when we're going to be on the other side of it, we're going to be able to say, okay, I think I understand.
Yeah. Well, and every path for each individual is so unique and different. And even though
Yeah.
society and civilization as a whole is moving and transforming and changing, everyone's going to have their own individual experience and how their
Yeah.
personal triumphs and their own personal failings are going to help them to define self and define who they choose to be within all of this, because for some people this seems like a perfect balance, while others it's chaos, and it depends on where you're coming from and the perspective and in the moment what you are dealing with, but everyone's going to use these experiences to define themselves and to choose who they wish to be if they don't get overwhelmed by the conditioning of what
Yeah.
they have been.
Yeah. Exactly. No, totally agree with you. Alrighty, so listen, I'm going to say hello to some folks that have joined us here. And I've got Amanda Carroll. Hello, Amanda. Francis McGee. Spirit Watcher Suzanne. Hello, Suzanne. Katrina Wright. Samantha. Lady Silver. 1111. Sylvie P. Teresa Hadrian. Lori Hunsinger. Jessica Lim. Samantha. Oh, Sylvie P. Samantha and posted and Sylvie P. have questions. Debbie Gassman, Kay Muldoon, Yvette Braggs, Patricia Heaslip, Trish, hi Trish, JR, Yvette Braggs, and let me see, Janet C. Hey Janet. So thank you all for coming in and spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. This is wonderful. I'm really glad you're here. Extin- is
That's one of my
it
moderators. It's Christina, but I call her Xtina.
Christina?
Yeah.
Okay, alrighty. Great. And she is showing up on my phone as being a moderator. So that is fantastic. Thank you for being here. And if you can, I know there's already been a few people who have asked questions about Ferny's channel and whatnot. So please feel free to put all that information in the chat. Okay, so that people can know where to go. In the meantime, you can also drop down to the description of the video here, and I've got Ferny's YouTube link on there, so you can go on there and get more information about him. But yeah, you're also on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you have a
Oh yeah.
website.
Yeah. And everybody can just go directly to my website and that'll link them to everything, because everything is like easy to get to from my website.
Perfect. So hey, how did you become one of the 5 top psychics?
A lot of work. It took a lot of work to get to that.
Yeah.
It's. I think it was the amount of passion and dedication I had to doing this. I always focus on the work, which is the readings, just doing
Yes.
readings. I mean, when you do readings, you meet a lot of people, you connect with a lot of people, and you form a lot of connections. But at some point, people start to notice if you are good or if you have really pushed yourself past the point of a newbie into a pro mode, people will take notice and will appreciate that. And it's the funniest thing is I'm not even based out of Houston anymore. I live in New Mexico in Santa Fe, but Texas and especially Houston is still the majority of my base, and so the majority of my clients are based out of Houston, and so I'm still being recognized there, even though I no longer actually live there. So that's nice to get that recognition. But It takes a lot of work. I always tell people what makes a newbie and someone who just occasionally does this and is, all right, they're okay, to a
Yeah.
level of like very refined, detail oriented, just really getting a good control of their senses is practice, practice, practice. And
Ex-
I average about 24 to 2600 readings a year. On average,
That's a lot.
and that's, yeah, and that's not including the live events that I do and also the e-readings that I do. So that's a lot of readings, but that's a lot of practice, and that's why every single person that I read for, every single connection that I make, it's an opportunity to take my ability further, to make myself stronger, make myself more refined, and just keep tweaking and tweaking as I
Yeah.
go along.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Perfect. And people can go, if they're interested in having a reading, you offer all kinds of
Hmm.
different readings, and
Yeah.
they can go on your website and just, yeah, click on set up an appointment or whatever. And it sounds like it's super easy.
Oh, it's very easy. That was one of the keys to my business's success from the get-go is if you make it easy and
Yes.
hassle-free, people will make the appointment. They'll book time with you. And if you're good and consistent with what you deliver, they will come back, even if they may not agree with you sometimes or they have different opinions, because people like to come and hear what they want to hear sometimes. They want you to
Yeah.
validate what they are wanting to happen.
Yeah.
My job isn't to validate what they want. My job is just to sense what I'm sensing, and in the process that may validate what they are already working towards.
Yeah.
But it's all about just being open, being receptive, and being ready for the messages. And some people will find out about me and they'll wait 3 or 4 years before they actually book an appointment. And I'm having clients who heard about me 7 years ago but have thought of booking an appointment and then finally got around to it 7 years later. So it's kind
Yeah.
of funny to meet new people
Yeah.
who are just finding me.
Yeah. Totally. Hey, Katrina says, is Ferny's audio crackling for anyone else? So I
Huh,
think
it is. Huh.
it
Is it
is.
crackling
Yeah,
for you as well?
it is. It is a
Okay,
little.
hold on.
Yeah.
Here, let me switch this one here.
Yeah. No, can't hear him. Can't hear you now. Oh, that's because he's got his mute on. Yeah. Yeah, he's just working on something in the background. So yeah. And
Okay.
alrighty.
Is
Perfect.
is hmm.
Yeah,
Now I
sounds
can't
better.
hear anything. Let's see how.
Yeah. And Christina says, yeah, your
Let
earbud
me
isn't
get
working.
this right so we can get this right.
Yeah. So while
Um,
you're doing that, I'll just let the folks know what's
okay.
happening here on Heart
Audio.
Center Tarot. I have recently announced I'll be holding my
There
first
we go.
class. There
Can
we
you hear
go.
me now? Okay,
Yes,
cool. Perfect.
done,
All right.
done. So I'll be having my first class that I'm offering, and that will be on next Saturday, September the 2nd, between 4 and 6 p.m. And the topic is going to be make your own Toracle deck. And that's and I use the word Toracle because it can be a combination of tarot and oracle deck, whichever
Mhm.
one. And I can just kind of share with you the experience that I went through when I made my own. And this is for people who are interested in getting a little more information, or who find that they have several tarot decks, oracle decks, but aren't really resonating with one, like one that you love. And it
Mhm.
may be because you need to make one that is meaningful to you, not someone else. So the cost of the class is $25, but members sign up for free. So that's the first announcement. The second one is in conjunction with amazing Deborah Zuckow, and her channel is Grow Your Light. She had she developed a while ago her own tarot deck, and it's called the Clarity Tarot. And she uses it quite a lot, and because it's really, really good. So, what we are doing is between now and August 31st, anyone who becomes a member on my channel is automatically entered into a draw to win a free Clarity Tarot deck giveaway. So if there's more than 10 new members, we'll do 2 draws. If there's more than that, we might do 3, right? So if you want to know about membership, just go to my main page on YouTube, click the join button. It'll give you all kinds of information on there. Otherwise, just go to my community page, and yeah, you'll be able to see the details, not only on membership, but on the draw and the class and everything else. So that's it for me and my big announcements. I'm a little nervous about the September class because it's the first one that I've done or will do. So you know what? I'm just going to toss it out there and
wing it.
Just
swing
do
it. Just swing it. Yeah, that's my motto for everything. Like, oh, you had that down. I'm like, I just winged it. I just wing it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because you know what? It's either going to go really well and I'll have it again, or it's not going to go really well, in which case I'll figure out what went wrong and I'll fix it.
Yeah, tweak it.
So, that's what it is. I don't like to see things as, oh, well, that was a failure. Yeah. No, it was an opportunity to find a different way to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
exactly. Yeah. And I absolutely love teaching. So it's one of those things, like, it's one thing to do readings, and readings is the bread and butter. That's what I do mostly. But when it comes to teaching people and guiding people and helping people to develop and evolve, it's so fulfilling just to do that work.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely. And I think I'm like 85 subscribers away from reaching 2,000. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, because I'm going to throw a little bit of a party when we get to 2,000. So yeah, in the meantime, hello, D. Rose Viviani. Nice to see you here, Viviani. Who else came in? Lisa Niedermeyer, Debbie No, D. Rose, I think I said. Perfect. All righty. Excellent. Okay, so we already have a few questions. And before we get to the questions, anything that's coming up for you in terms of predictions that...
Predictions, world predictions. Yeah. And I would say, by the way, guys, for those of you who are going to be asking questions, do your best to be specific with your questions, because sometimes open-ended questions can go into a lot of different places. So when you ask questions like, what do you see? Or a full reading, please, or finances, please, that is like a broad topic, and that could be a whole lot of things. So if you're wanting specifics, you got to get specific. So if you want, do you see me getting a new job this year? When am I going to get pregnant? Are Bob and I going to get back together? Those kinds of specific questions will help me to like really laser focus, get to the question, and then move on. That way I can get to as many questions as I can, and give you as much information as I can about that specific situation. But when it comes to like world predictions, it's something that's interesting is, one thing I mentioned, there's a couple of things I want to bring up. One thing that I mentioned a while back ago, and this was an early part of this year, I was seeing this situation play out in the Pacific, where I thought it was the Pacific, and I saw these two separate things happening simultaneously. I was seeing a lot of activity in the Pacific with the U.S. military, these ships kind of being guided, these vessels that were what are they? Transport vessels that are carrying goods from different countries to the U.S. and so forth. So these cargo ships were being attacked by either Russia or by China. And they were trying to instigate and trigger some things to go on. And so what I saw was that there was going to be a few incidents like this, and especially around that same time, I saw Hawaii in high alert, or Hawaii just kind of a little concerned. And what I kept seeing were explosions or things that reminded me of like bombs or explosions. I was trying to figure out what this was because I saw fire, and I thought, okay, what is this? And afterwards, cargo ships would be kind of guided through these channels across the ocean with the aid of the U.S. military and other military forces, just to ensure that there was going to be safe passages
Yeah.
through the waters. Well, then the fires happened in Hawaii, so I was wondering, I was like, for some reason, this feels like deja vu to me. So when I was thinking about that, then I thought, well, this feels similar. This feels, it's not what I saw, but it felt, it felt familiar to me. And then within the week that that started, there was actually a ship that was coming, a cargo ship that was attacked by Russia,
Oh,
coming out of the Bering Strait. So it was coming out of that area. And I'm like, okay, there's the first one. So I'm wondering if there's going to be more of these happening, which I'm still suspecting that there are going to be more of these happening. Simultaneously, as that is going on, I had a client who was in the capital of Vietnam last week, and as I was doing her reading, I kept seeing the her home shaking and there being an earthquake in the area. And I even asked her because I didn't know that there were earthquakes in Vietnam, and I said,
yeah.
"Are there earthquakes there?" And she says, "Yeah, there are. Not usually in the capital, but around." And so I mentioned, "Okay, well, I'm seeing an earthquake and something that's kind of a significant event in that area." So just want to put that out there for people who don't realize that there might be an earthquake in that area as well. So just to be careful.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that will probably within the next, like, before the year's over with. So from now until December.
All righty. Well, there you go, folks. And just want to also remind you, if you have a question, please put it in only once. I will star the questions from here, and it just gets confusing if there's too many questions from one person and all this. So yeah, please post a question, post it once. All righty. So we're 21 minutes in and we've got 9 questions. So let's get started. Okay. And the first one, and Frances was actually posted this question even before we went live. And she wanted to know, do you feel they will ever find a reason for my headaches I have every day?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So when it comes to the headaches, what I'm seeing 2 separate things, and I actually think that there are 2 things that may be triggering this or causing this to take place. One is when I look at the base of the skull, and when I look at the when I look at the brainstem, I keep seeing something near the brainstem that kind of feels like a restriction or an area of inflammation that doesn't feel normal. It almost feels like scar tissue, like if there had been an accident or an event or something that may have caused a bit of an effect on the back of your skull or the back of the neck, but over time there's like scar tissue that's built up. And so what I think happens is that sometimes when you have blood pressure spikes or your blood pressure goes up, there's an effect of a further inflammation or swelling that takes place that causes this like pressure in that area. So I feel like it's something physical that is affecting
Yeah.
that part of the body. And so I'm thinking that it becomes irritated or inflamed with blood pressure issues. So I think blood pressure issues would be the way to go about reducing the effect or the incidence of this. However, I still think that that area of scar tissue is just going to become aggravated, and it's going to still be an issue regardless, unless they want to do more into it, look more into it.
Yeah. There, I kind of got the sense that there was. It kind of felt like when you were much younger, you fell and you hit your head. It didn't bother you at the time. It was okay, but yeah, there's something that kind of shifted in there. And so when I pull the cards, yeah, I got the shifting. So that's what's happening is I do think that it is related to your blood pressure. The other thing too is I think you've been given suggestions on different things that you can do, and you sometimes hesitate on doing what they're what the doctors are telling you to do. And it's like I'm getting the sense that you're telling them that, yeah, I've already tried that. That didn't work. I've already tried. Well, it didn't work then. It could work now. So just be a little more open to things that that they have for you.
Yeah.
So
and even as we get like older, sometimes the body changes as we get older as well. So something that could have been a non-issue before, if as we get older
yes,
and the spinal column changes, it expands, it contracts, and it realigns itself depending on person's work and how they're positioning themselves on a regular basis. That alone is that could very well be a representation of what the shifting is causing more of an effect on that area.
absolutely. There you
Mhm.
go, Francis. I hope that works. And we have Sal Rods, and Sally is a subscriber. Subscriber. She's a member. So what's next for me now that I have more freedom of movement?
I'm assuming they're meaning like they can relocate or move. Like that's what they're
Well,
asking.
no, freedom of movement in terms of, I think Sally had like back issues and different issues, so she's a little more mobile.
Oh, so she's talking about like physical body, like what she can do with
Yes,
her
yeah,
physical.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that question totally. That's what I'm telling you guys. You got to be specific, because if it's like if it doesn't make sense to a random stranger, it ain't gonna make sense to me. I take it very literally. So that's why I'm
yeah,
like, please be specific. Okay, got it.
yeah.
So when it comes to like physical body and stuff like that, what's interesting is that I feel like you're gonna set I feel like you're going to set a goal for yourself to participate in some sort of like I wouldn't say it's like a triathlon, but it's some sort of a marathon or like some sort of event like this, but it's for charity. So it's like raising money or trying to like build money to raise money for a cause or awareness. Even if you don't complete the whole like thing, but you just begin the process of training for that and trying to enter into it, I think that's really good for you, because I feel like that's going to help you to kind of get further along,
Yeah.
and making it a goal that can move over time so that you can get closer and closer to achieving it. Even though the question wasn't about physical relocation, I am seeing a potential move that comes up in about 2.5 years. So there might be a move to a coastal area that's kind of southeast of where they are, and I want to say this is in about 2.5 years.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah. And she was, yeah, she just said her old dog had just passed away. So now she
Mm,
feels less restriction on where
mm,
I can go. So yeah,
mm,
part of it was, staying close to home and with the elder pet. But I know
mm.
that she also had, yeah, some mobility issues and whatnot. So, and she is thinking of moving.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can move and you're not stuck in one place and you've been there for a while, I'd say just do it. Why not? Try something new. Go and stay there first for a little bit, like go on vacation and stay there for a
Yeah,
week. Get a taste of it. But row with it. Go
yeah,
with it.
absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you, Sally. Okay. And Samantha would like to know if her job opportunities improve.
I'm definitely not seeing anything changing with work right now, Samantha. I do think that you might have something kind of come up through the grapevine, people that you know or people that you've worked with before. You might have an option come up by early 2024, so maybe around January, February of the new year. However, I feel like it's just not going to give you what you're wanting as far as like either the pay package or the hours. It just doesn't feel like it almost feels like it would just work worse for you than your current job situation. So I kind of feel like you're going to stay put. I'm not seeing you making any real changes with your job for 16 months. So that's a bit over a year. So about 16 months, I am seeing a change at that point. Interestingly enough, when that change comes, um, you might actually get an opportunity to make more money where you're at now. So you'll have to decide if you want to take the more money where you're
Yeah,
at now, or go with this other option that also is going to pay you more money, but there's more opportunity for growth over time, and you won't stagnate. It also it might have some tie to administrative parts of an organization that would be educationally based. So, like an education organization or some sort of educational company, and the administrative side of that. That's what I'm seeing.
yeah. I'm not very good on time, but my initial sense was that there is going to be an opportunity for movement within the organization that you're in right now. Not exactly sure when, but it didn't. It felt like it was going to be almost like a promotion, like you're doing something else, but you're doing it for the same company. So yeah, when
So,
that
question. I want to ask you a question. Sorry, that's it. So why do you say you're not good at time?
um I don't generally actually get a sense of time. Every once in a while, it'll be like, oh yeah, okay, this is going to be happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But in terms of being able to say, okay, within the next year or so, I haven't gotten to the point that I'm either hearing that
Mm.
or I'm allowing it to come through.
So here's
Right?
what I would recommend, because you might
Please.
just be stopping, because I think you're actually better at time than you realize. I just don't think you're giving yourself the chance to be as good as at it as you are. When I ask myself, when do I see this happening? When I first started doing that and trying to figure out time, I used markers in time that would help me to figure out a time frame. So, like when I saw Halloween or Hocus Pocus in my mind, that was
Yeah.
Halloween or October's, fall time.
Yeah.
If I saw Christmas trees or presents, I would assume this was the holiday season. If I saw Valentine's Day or lovers going out to dinner, I assumed that was around spring or
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, Easter. So you can use those memories of those events to trigger a time frame, so you can try to initiate a sense of time. And then at that point, you just have to decide and make a judgment call. It's either going to be this year or next year at this time frame. That way, you'll
Yeah.
start to work into that time frame. But use the memory of time, because that will help you to get tighter with it. And then over time, get better with time, because you're
Good idea.
get better. Yeah, that's how the holidays and using the holidays.
Perfect. I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of that. So who knows? Maybe they've been coming in all along, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
why am I thinking
Yeah.
Christmas?
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, because it would be around that time of the year. Yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. That makes sense. All righty, Samantha. There you go. I hope that helps. Okay, and Sylvie P. Any career insight? Feeling anxious about work after grad school. Also, will I secure an internship next summer, and in which city?
Yeah. I actually think you'll secure an internship by March. So I think before you're done, there will be an internship secured in March. Actually, you might have the option of two separate types of internship. One, I want to say would be settled in March, which is the one I think you're going to go with. The other one, it's like there's like an understanding that that would also be possible, but you would have to wait till after graduation to be able to connect back with the individual who would have given you that option, or who you would have spoken to and connected with around that option. So I think you don't like to play it. I don't think you like to take risks. I think you're going to play it safe and end up going with the March option because it's already there. I also think, what was it? Anxious about working graduate. Yeah. The internship, interestingly enough, is only going to be 3 months. And then after that, it leads to a 6 or 7 month contract, which is interesting because I don't know why there would be a contract, because normally I'm used to seeing like an actually salary position, but for some reason I'm seeing a contract position for like 6 or 7 months. Then I'm seeing a salary position or a permanent position. So it's kind of a weird like internship 3 months, and then contract
Yeah.
about 7 months, and then there's this like salary to permanent position.
Yep, absolutely. Things have to happen in the right order. And sometimes we don't understand what that order is. But yes, what I was getting when you mentioned, first there's an internship and then there's a contract. Um, After the internship, the contract that is still the reason that they have to go to a contract is because the person is in the position and is transitioning out of the position. So they don't exactly know when that person is going to be gone. That's why you're going contract.
Interesting.
And then once that person is gone, then you slide into the position. Yeah, I don't know which. which city, but I don't think it's going to be too far from where you are right now. So wherever you happen to be right now, I think it's going to be close to there.
Mm. So she's saying that because so the reason why it might be contract, she's an international student, and also she doesn't actually finish school until the end of 2024 or May 2025. So that would make sense then, because if she is going to get a 3 month, which I think there'll be a 3 month
Yeah,
um,
internship.
internship
Yeah,
starting in the summertime, which she secures by March, then at that point, that's 3 months in, which would be like June, July, August, and then from August to the end of the year, September, October, November, December, January. So that would start to take us into like the 6 or 7 month
yeah,
period for a contract to start, and then yeah, that would make sense then.
yeah,
So that would make sense.
absolutely. And
Hmm.
yeah, I didn't see the part about the international student. Yeah, but that could very well be it. Is they're doing the paperwork to get the visa and
That
everything
might
else.
be it. Yeah, that
Yeah,
might be it.
that's
Yeah.
why.
Mm.
Yeah. So there you go. Hope that helps. Hope that helps. Alrighty. And Yvette brags, will I get a job offer or finances this week?
I think she said in finances, right? I think that she's trying to say in finances. I get a
Maybe.
job offer in
Yvette, can you
finances.
just, yeah, do you mean, are you going to get a job offer in finance? Or are you asking two questions? Am I going to get a job offer and will I get extra finances?
Yeah. So I'll just rework the question. When do I see a job change for a vet? 2.5 months. So I'm not seeing something for about 2.5, maybe 3 months.
Okay, that's the first thing that popped into my head was 3
See,
months.
see, you got it. You got see, what is this with you in that time? You got it. You got it.
Oh, perfect. Love it. Love it. Thank you. That was, yeah, that was just a, oh, thank you. The rest of you can go home for again. I have to, excellent. Excellent. All right. Yvette, are you here? Can you give us a little more information or,
Looks like she might
um,
not be in. That's okay. We can
yeah.
move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's move on to the next one. Okay. And if Yvette comes in, well, then we can get to her question. Starfall, am I going to have a child?
Yes. I see two. So I actually see more than one child. I see two. It might take a little while though, because I feel like it's going to be about 2, maybe 3 years at the most. But I'm seeing two children, and I feel like it's 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, my sense was, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, you will, and it's going to happen when you stop thinking about it. So yeah, think about something else. Go get a little dog or something that you can devote all your attention to, and then you'll be surprised how quickly
Also, Star, there's a supplement you might want to try. It's called Pregnitude, and you can get it at any CVS or Walgreens. A lot of people like swear by this supplement, and pretty much what happens is, and my sister used it. She was trying to get pregnant for 8 months, couldn't get pregnant, and then took the supplement, and within a month she got pregnant. So that's one way you might want to try to kind of amplify the body's ability to go ahead and get pregnant, and also get a Reiki session by a certified Reiki practitioner with good reviews. Because I had clients where they would come to me and they were trying to get pregnant, and two of them, shortly after the Reiki session, within a month and a half, they got pregnant. And they had been trying for a while. So I would say give that a shot as well.
And Froxy Roxy says, Ferny, you're very handsome. Hablas español.
Sí, sí hablo español. No lo hablo perfecto, pero sí puedo entender y tener una conversación en español.
What he said. Perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay. And all right. So Yvette has said that, yeah, she is, what did she,
Yeah, she just repeated the question. She didn't really
yeah,
clarify the
job offer
finances part.
or finances.
Yeah,
Okay. So she's asking about a job offer
yeah.
or finances.
Yeah, so it was 3 months, 2 to 3 months of that.
Yeah. There you go. Hope that helps. Okay. We did Starfall. Rose is, how will the rest of 2023 be for me?
That's like a 30-minute full reading. Rose, I need you to be a little more specific. So if you can be more specific, like, do I see a health issue coming up for you, or do I see a relationship issue coming up for you, or a relationship coming up? That's like a full reading. So
Yeah.
so if you can be a little more specific, that way it doesn't turn into a full 30-minute reading.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I'm getting a sense that there's actually two offers that are going to come in, sort of one right after the other. It's like you've been waiting a long time for something to happen, and then it's like boom, you've got a choice of two. One of them, I think, is one of them is going to pay more than the other. The other one, however, is going to offer you a little more work-life balance, and it's going to have something with benefits that is going to be a little better than the money that the first one is offering. So make sure that you look um, at everything that comes in and don't just go for the dollar amount,
Mm.
right? Look at the other
Mhm.
things too.
So she asks, also, will I travel? So I actually feel like there's going to be I I feel like there's gonna be trouble in the surrounding area that you're in. So like whatever state you're in, or region, the little towns around there, I can see travel in that way. But it doesn't feel like that drastic of a trip, and I can see that this year. But when I look at December or January, I can see travel out of the country, possibly even overseas. But what I'm seeing is I'm kind of going down to where Florida's at, and then I'm kind of going out to like Puerto Rico, or like Miami, like I'm going out to like the islands. So I feel like
Yeah,
there's an opportunity to travel out that way at the first of the year.
absolutely. All righty, perfect. Rose, I hope that helps. And Lisa Niedermeyer says, I live alone. What do you see for my love life?
Got it. So, um, so essentially, do I see a relationship for her? I don't see a relationship for you right now, darling. I feel that you kind of need to learn to be a little more open and receptive, because I feel like you're a bit closed off. I think part of it is because you've been hurt and you don't want to take the risk sometimes. So even if you think you're open and you're trying, I don't actually think you're trying. And I think you need to be more vulnerable and more receptive, and just take a risk. Like any relationship we get into, every relationship that involves a human being will not can will come with pain. Either they're going to cause you to suffer pain, or they're going to inadvertently cause you pain through interaction and through decisions and through personality differences. So people will cause you pain, period. It's a part of the process. When it comes to dating or getting into a relationship, there are a lot of people out there who do not know what they want, and they still try to get involved in relationships. There's a lot of people out there who do know what they want, but they still don't want to be with you, and that's okay. And they figure that out in a moment. And then there's a lot of people out there who may actually really connect with you. But unless you are open and receptive and take the risk, yes, be very guarded. In fact, toxic people come my way. The reason why, so here's the thing, I'll use an example from my life. So I'm currently dating, and I'm dating several people because I want to be open and receptive. I'm very open and honest about the process of dating. So every person that I meet, I want to spend more time with you. I want to get to know you better. But I am dating. I'm not just, hey, it's just you and I and nobody
Yeah.
else. No, like I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing into anything serious. I'm going to get to know a person. And my vow to myself is spend time with someone for at least 3 to 4 months before I make any major decisions around whether I want to be exclusive and go serious with them. Because usually people, it takes about 3 or 4 months before you see who they really are,
Yes.
before they get comfortable enough to show you who they really are, or the reality of who they are comes through the cracks, their face cracks.
Yeah.
So it takes about 3 to 4 months, and I'm about taking my time and enjoying that. So I was dating this one gentleman, super sweet guy, really just a great guy, actually, altogether. There was nothing wrong with him, and he was a very viable option for dating for me. However, there was just something that I wasn't feeling, which was this sense of connectedness on a romantic level. And the more time I spent with him, the more I felt like I was dating a friend and not
Yeah.
necessarily a couple.
Yeah.
And I was honest about this, and I said, I really care about you, and enjoyed my time with you, and I want to continue to have a connection with you. But the more time we spend together, and every single time we get together, it feels more and more like I'm dating one of my good friends,
Yeah.
and not necessarily this be a romantic bond. I'm not feeling a romance of it. And he didn't want to hear that. He really does like me, and he wanted to go further. He was ready to go to the next level after the
Yeah.
second date, and I was like, no, I'm not going to rush into this.
Yeah.
And so, his first response was, this is why I don't want to open up to people. This is why I don't want to give people a chance. This is why I don't want to, give people the opportunity to date and to spend time with me, because they hurt me and they hurt. I'm like, do you regret our time together? Do you regret our connection? And he says, well, no, I don't. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm still here. I'm talking to you. I still want to be your friend. Have you had that experience
Yeah.
in the past with guys? He's like, well, no, everybody ghosts me, or they just stop talking to me, or they don't really want to have, and they don't want to engage or try to be friends. I'm like, okay, well, this is a different situation. So this is
Yeah.
the beginning of change for you. Now, you can do one of two things in this moment. You can either use this opportunity that I am giving you to be authentic, to be honest and direct, and accept and embrace what you are having a chance to experience, which is nothing that you regret, and have the opportunity to be a friend with me. Or you can just completely spiral into this mindset of, the universe has it out for me. I'm never going to meet anyone that's healthy, and I'm never going to be happy, and I will never have love in my life. And there's just no point in trying and pushing everything away. And if you spiral, you will be alone for the rest of your life. And this will repeat itself over and over and over again. And I will just be thrown in the pile of people who were toxic, or people who just didn't care about me
Yeah.
or whatnot. And I'm like, and that's not the case. I'm talking to you. I'm spending time trying to help you understand that this is not something that was a bad thing. We had great experiences. I'm
Exactly.
I'm just being honest and telling you I'm not feeling the romantic part of this. But that doesn't mean that we still can't have a connection as friends. And I think he started to realize that he is handling the idea of dating very differently than what he thought, and he isn't as open as he thought. And he was kind of having like a wake up call, like didn't realize he was doing that. And so this is what I would say to you, darling, is that you are closing down opportunities that might work, and not taking the experience for what it is, and instead trying to twist it into what you think it should be, trying to accommodate your own expectations with this person, and instead not seeing them for who they are. So when you connect with people, give them a chance to show themselves, to reveal themselves to you. And if you're patient, you might just bag a good one. And if you're in a rush and you start to spiral, you're just going to create this cyclical pattern of, everybody's out to screw me over, it's going to hurt me. The universe doesn't want me to be in a loving relationship. And this is why I say to you, I want you to work on yourself, on your own energy, and being open, receptive. Take the risk, because no child is born without pain. Nothing beautiful was created without
Yeah.
something being destroyed in the process. And so the pain that you're experiencing is the destruction of your conditioned self, of, life doesn't want me to be happy and I don't deserve anything better. That is the pain you're feeling, the destruction of your old self in the process of revisioning yourself into someone new to allow for something to come in.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. The sense that I got was that it's for you, it's kind of um, all in or nothing at all. Like, you meet someone and you spend, yeah, a few hours with them, and you're already thinking about the future. And rather than kind of being in the moment and getting to know what that person is all about, right? It's like when we're yeah, when we're first dating, it's kind of like a job interview, right?
Mm.
Where we have questions. I want to know how you feel about this. I want to know how you feel about that. So if you're if your expectation is too high, there isn't anyone out there that's going to be able to meet that, because what you're expecting is more than what anyone is able to give
Mm.
initially, right? And when you say yes, you're an empath and toxic people, putting protections around yourself can kind of limit the number of people that you allow in to come in with that toxicity. But at the same time, understand that you're, as much as the toxic people are coming around you, you might be bringing some toxicity into the relationship as well. So,
We all are. Yeah,
yeah.
we all do. Because we're
Oh,
all
yeah.
human. We're all part of the problem. We're all contributing to the situation.
Yeah, exactly. So just nice and slow, be open, be willing to take a chance and look at somebody that you may not think that you have all that much in common with initially, right? And we all tend to, we see somebody who's good looking and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to try to get to know him or her. Whereas the friend that they're there with may not be as attractive or as outgoing, and they could be the perfect person for you. So be open, and you will receive what you expect. So expect that you're going to find someone who is loving and caring and deserves your attention.
Yeah, and I do want to be specific because I don't think I answered the question, which the reason why I was telling you, darling, to work on yourself, and I'm glad you're with a counselor now because you're working with a counselor that's going to help you.
Yeah.
But also, the reason why I was telling you to work on yourself was because I was not seeing anyone into your life who was going to stick around for about 7 or 8 years. So that's a long time. And I'm like, we need to like speed this up. And so that doesn't mean you won't meet anybody or connect with anyone from now until then. I just didn't see you having anyone that was going to stick around for a long period of time for about 7 or 8 years. So that's a long time. So that's why I was trying to give you an idea to work on this, which it sounds like you're already beginning the process of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's excellent. Okay. Now, Ness, wait a minute. Did we do? Yeah, we did that. Ness, questions are closed, but you're a member, so you get to jump to the top of the queue. What? I don't have a personal question, but what's with Kanye West's new wife? Seems like he is parading her naked all over Italy for his own ego. Yeah.
I don't think you need to be psychic to figure out. Kanye West is not. He's not a very stable person. Kanye West is someone who is struggling because, first of all, he's not being consistent with his medication, and he is trying alternative ways to heal or to stabilize his condition. At the same time, a part of him operates from a delusional. It's a personality disorder where you believe that what you believe is real, and what people think of you is just being haters and being angry people towards you. And so his beliefs are his reality, and then he's not on a stable medication regimen, and on top of that he is going through that loss of being with Kim Kardashian that is still affecting him, while simultaneously trying to make a point to the world that he is not a failure because he has had a few fumbles. He's still successful in his own right. He's still earning money, but he is just not as stable and as successful as he was a few years ago before all of this drama played out on the public stage.
Yeah.
Because she's getting attention.
Exactly.
She's making connections. She's getting attention. She's, making connections. She doesn't care. I mean, Kim Kardashian got famous just by putting out a sex tape. I don't think she was thinking about, in the moment, she might have been just doing it for the moment, for the pleasure of the moment, but she used it as an opportunity to gain fame. And so at this point, you can be anyone and gain fame as long as you have a microphone. And that's the point. Exactly. Any attention is good attention. The moment that they stop talking about you, there's a problem. You're no longer relevant.
That's right.
And so she can use it as an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Why does Trump do what he does? Because the headline is always about him. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Okay. Viviani would love a reading. And Viviani, sweetheart, can you be a little more specific on what particular thing you would like a reading on?
Any travel.
Okay. Yes, but I don't see you traveling for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I see you traveling for like 3-4 days. But yeah, it's almost like the weekend getaway, but there's several of them rather than one long trip. And wherever you're going by the ocean. So the image that I got was, yeah, there's a little house. It's got a great little back deck, and you're sitting out there watching the waves, having coffee. So I don't know, that could be like a B&B. And yeah, what have you
Yeah.
got?
Yeah, that would be it. Well, when you were saying that, I kept thinking of like Martha's Vineyard and the
Yeah,
little houses. Yeah, I was seeing that in my mind, so that makes perfect. That I would. I definitely think that she's gonna travel. I would say that that trip feels like that's gonna be just around the corner. It doesn't feel like it's very like far from now.
yeah.
I do see a nice big trip, but not for about a year and a half. It's to England because I see you going to Stonehenge.
Oh, lovely.
Mhm.
There you go, baby.
I got a chance to go to Stonehenge on this last trip to England. It was really interesting.
Nice,
Not what I expected
nice.
to feel there.
That's one of the places I have never been to. I hope to one day make it to England because I feel such a very strong connection to England in terms
Mm,
of, yeah, anything British, um, like British history.
mm,
I'm very, very drawn to, and it
mm.
feels when I'm reading it kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, and yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Well, part of that also might be because you were a Parliament records keeper in a past life. So you were responsible for keeping records of Parliament and what was going on with the heads of state, where they were, the laws that were on the books, all of this. So your responsibilities in that lifetime. William was your name in that lifetime, actually. William um, Binsky or Banksky. It's like a interesting name like that, William.
wow.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to look that up. Perfect. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay. And Tina Marie. And okay, we're at 57 minutes, and I think we got 4 questions left. So I hope that you've got the time. Am I
Mhm. We're good.
excellent? Wonderful. And Tina Marie would like to know, will my daughter Angela do well in her new job?
I think she's going to be there for probably about 4 or 5 months. After that, I kind of feel like she's going to end up switching over to either a different part of the organization, or she's just going to move to a different job. So I think that she'll be there for about 4 or 5 months, and then after that, she'll have a chance to kind of move into something else that's going to be a little bit better for her. Also, I think that she's going to end up going back into a program, whether it's like an education program or she's going to get certified in something. But this may not be. I want to say this is probably not a year and a half, maybe 2 years at the most.
Yeah, this job is a stopgap for her. It's like
Hmm.
she took it because she needed a job, but
Yeah.
that's not where she wants to be and where she ultimately ends up being. So, yeah, she'll be okay in there for a little while, but then yeah, she's going to find either another opportunity or transition into like Ferny said, into a different department within the same company. But at least that's what, yeah, it's a stopgap for her. It's a way to pay the
Hmm.
bills.
Hmm.
Perfect. And yes, absolutely. Christina says, if Ferny read for you today, please leave a review on his website. There you go. And you could do the same thing on my channel. Well, I don't have a website, but on my channel. Absolutely. Okay. And Pooja, honey, welcome. Thank you for being here. But questions are closed. We've been at this for almost an hour. And so, yeah, but next time, absolutely. Absolutely. And we did that. And Mindy would like to know if you can connect with her mom, Corky.
Mm-hmm. Connect with her mom, Quirky. Yeah. So when I did her mom, Mindy, the first thing she's showing me, she's taking interesting. She's showing me two pieces of fabric and she's putting them together. So I'm wondering if you have something that either was made in her honor, like a quilt, or if there was some sort of like bedding or pillow that was made with like fabric that she's connected to. So there's something there that she's showing me. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. It's interesting because there's almost like two females. I want to say there's mom and there's another female, and I'm trying to figure out if
Mhm.
mom is the one that had the cancer connection or if it's the other female because I keep seeing the cancer symbol, and I'm wondering if it might have actually both been had, both of them had it, but I want to say one of them would definitely had a cancer thing because I'm getting that whole like cancer vibe with like the whenever there's like the quotes made a memorial of, so that I'm like, reminded of that, and there's a reference to that. She also keeps showing me, thank you. She is showing me butterflies, so butterflies are going to be a sign from her as well. She also keeps showing me I want to say it's either like a cup or a bowl that you might have that belonged to her or that she gave you that you still use, and every time you use it, like you think of her because it's almost like I want to drink out of this thing or use this, and it's almost like reminded me of her. So she's showing me something like that as well, baby. Also, the 15th is significant. So the 15th of the month might be significant, whether it be a birthday, death date, or anniversary date.
Yeah. And what I got from her was she's saying you need to go through your closet because there's a good bit of clothing that you've got in there that no longer fits you. And when you're wearing clothes that are too big for you, she doesn't like that.
Mm.
She likes you to be, current and well dressed. And so she's telling you to go through the closet, get rid of those clothes. Okay? Just so whatever that means, it's not for me to decide. If it means something to you, good. Yeah.
Also for you, Marina, so William Bowyer, I was off by a few letters. William Bowyer was the keeper of the records in 1569 to 1570. Was an antiquary and government official who was a member of parliament and keeper of the records in the Tower of London. So that was your past life.
Wonderful. Okay. And William, what was the last name again?
Bowyer, Bowyer.
Okay.
And I, interesting enough, what got a chance to see the inside of the Tower of London. So interesting while I was in London.
Perfect. Okay. Because, yeah, okay. That resonates. And it resonates because not only British history, but yeah, particularly the the laws,
Mm,
anything having to do with
protocol,
legal profession, and
policy.
yeah, absolutely. That I
Makes
totally
perfect sense.
totally understand
Perfect
that.
sense.
Okay, I'm going to look that up, man.
Hmm.
That is wonderful. Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've done that. Okay. And Heather would like to know. Oh, she says, Ferny, you said that you see a trip for me in Georgia Naval Academy. My ex's son lives up there in the Navy.
Hmm.
Why'd you take a trip
Interesting.
there?
Huh. I'm not sure why you would take a trip up there. I mean, it might just be coincidental that you just happen to go there and he also happens to be um yeah, I mean, it just may just be coincidental. There may not be a reason because of him per se. It may just be you going up there for a different reason altogether, but it may just be because of the region or the area, and it's just closer to it. So I'm thinking that may be it, and not because of the actual relationship to him. I mean, hypothetically, that could tie in at some point, but I'm thinking it's just because you go up there because of the.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it's property related. This might be something about either there's a piece of property that you might be interested that comes up and you go to visit, or you actually just have a chance to use a piece of property as a vacation, and it just happens to be pretty close to that area.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes a coincidence is just that. It's a coincidence,
Mm.
you know? So yeah, I wasn't getting anything overly specific except that, okay, so he lives there, you know?
Yeah.
There wasn't, yeah, no, there wasn't anything else attached to it. Okay. So, oh, Ness says she just booked a 30-minute session with you.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Okay. And for those of you, if you have asked a question like, you know, Francis says, wow, I should have asked about my husband and whatnot. Yeah, Ferny goes on live Wednesday and Friday, 7 p.m. Central. You can go on Instagram or TikTok. Just go to his webpage. You'll know where he's going to be. You can go there and ask a question, or you can look up and come to any of the shows that that I'm broadcasting, and you get that from my community page, and come in and ask that question. So, you know, it's just it's a couple options, but there you go. There you go. Okay. And now Christina wants to know, quick question. When do you see me meeting the right man? Okay, well, I got 6. So either 6 months or by June next year. What do you get?
I can't read for her because I'm too close. Because I care. Yeah, you know, there's when it comes to reading for people, there's 3 levels of objectivity that are required for reading, and when it comes to not required, but that exists. The first level is ourselves. Whenever we look into our own futures, we care too much about the outcome. So our
Exactly.
own desires and preferences and biases are going to interfere with the ability to sense accurately. You can still sense from an intuitive point of view, but it's not
Yeah.
really going to be that specific. So it's hard to read for ourselves. When it comes for friends and family members, the more you care about their lives and the outcome and who they're with and what, and you want things for them, it's going to interfere with
Yeah.
the reading as well. So even though I'm better at reading for friends and family, Christina, because I'm very aware of what she's having to deal with and what she's going through right now. I care a lot about what it's going to look like. That just blinds me to what's going to happen. So I can't see as clearly. But if it were like someone else who I wasn't as invested in, or I wasn't, you know, every day talking to, it'd be
Yeah.
it'd be easier for me. Then when it comes to a perfect stranger, a client that I you know, that at that point I don't have an invested interest. I care about them and I care about
Yeah.
the life, but I don't have an invested interest in the outcome. So I'm not. It allows me to be more honest and direct and just to the point with what I'm seeing. So the accuracy level goes up much higher. And that's why
Yeah.
you have to remain objective when you're doing your reading.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm the same way. Honestly, I can, yeah, anybody off the street, you know, I can generally know what you're going to ask me before you even ask me, because I get the answer as I'm looking at you. For myself, if I want to know what's happening for me, I could
Good luck.
pull all the cards in the
Good luck.
universe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all of them are going to say blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally understand that. Yeah. And yeah, your next question was going to happen in court. You're going to get a chance to tell your story. There you go. Okay. Kiana Queen, will my financial situation improve? Will I move it? I don't know why I'm picking up the cards. I don't need the cards. Okay. Well, financial. It's going to take a little bit of time. I don't think that it's quite going to happen as quickly as you think it will. I think there's something's going to come up where, and it's just about the time that you think, oh, okay, I'm almost there. Something's going to come up where you're going to have to put money out, and that's going to put you a little, kind of a little behind. But move out of the country. I don't see that
Yeah, I don't see that
anytime
either.
soon.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all. I don't think they were moving out of the country. I feel like it's gonna take a year and a half before their finances get better. Part of that is because it feels like they do move, like, location-wise, their living situation changes, and it makes it a little more, like, inexpensive where it's just easier
Mhm.
for them, but it still feels like they're gonna have to, like, work on this, but it improves a little bit in about a year and a half. Definitely don't see them moving out of the country.
Yeah, there you go. All righty. And Star Midnight. Job offer coming soon? Hmm. I don't get anything soon. Define soon. Because if you're thinking like, by the end of the month or within the next month, no. Um,
What holiday are you seeing?
you know what? I'm not really seeing a holiday as much as I'm just getting the impression that no, it's not now. It's in a while, like yeah, maybe in the new year.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
got December, January, so that's what I got. So when you say
Okay.
in the new year, your new year is a holiday. So I think you're pushing it back. I'm like, I know you're seeing it. I know you're seeing it because you said new year. I was like, she got it. She
Yeah.
got the timing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I got December and January too. So that's what I was seeing. So I was like, let's see if she can pick the holiday or get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got
Excellent.
it.
No, that you know what? You have no idea how helpful that is going to be because yeah, that's something that I can. Okay, what am I seeing? Yeah.
Yeah,
What's going on? What are the
yeah,
people wearing? Are they,
yeah.
are they wearing t-shirts or are they wearing parkas?
See,
Yeah.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, all righty. Perfect. And I'm sorry, I saw Katrina, yeah, say that she had a question before uh, Mindy,
Ballerina.
but yeah, but I didn't start. So clearly I missed it. So yeah, it was about my heart monitor results. Okay. And somebody asked me or asked earlier if I was on TikTok. No, no, you know what? I have trouble sometimes just managing this. So you try to get on different things. It's like,
Mm.
oh yeah, I can confuse very, very easily.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not that hard. I mean, I was the same way. You know, for years I only used Facebook, and my friend was like, "You need to get on Instagram." I'm like, "Oh, it sounds like one more platform, one more thing to use. I don't know if I know how to figure it out and learn how to
yeah,
use it." And then I used it, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't so hard." And then I started using that, and then they were like, "You need to use TikTok." I was like, "Oh my god, another platform." I was like, "I don't know if I can." And then I figured out how to use that. It just took a little while, but I would say it's worth it because TikTok, especially TikTok, it is worth it because so many people's careers are being built on the businesses are being built on TikTok. And it's a big, big, big like boost
yeah,
to business. So I would definitely suggest like anyone trying to build their business through TikTok, using TikTok is a great way to do that. It's a lot of
perfect,
connection. Hmm.
excellent. And Christina, I will take you up on that offer. Um, absolutely. You know what? Just send me your contact info, and it's heartcenteredtarot@outlook.com. And yeah, I'd be very glad to talk to you about that. And Francis says, you guys work well together. Well, thank you very much. Yes, I think we do.
Yeah, well, you have to kind of like the person that you're with. You if you like the person that you're dealing with, it's pretty easy to work well together because you
I know.
respect
Yeah,
each other's
it doesn't
boundaries.
feel like work, right? It
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
like we're just having a
spending
chit
time
chat.
together.
What do you
Yeah,
want to know?
exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Um, all right. And Lisa says here, and this will be the last one, and then I can let you go so you can enjoy part of your Sunday,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Does
That's
time change
fine.
our situations to improve by what we do now? It's
Meaning, can you
tiny.
change the future? Yes. So you can absolutely change. This is why when I do readings, I tell people, you can always change the future. It's never set in stone. There are experiences that your soul has established as necessary experiences for in your lifetime. So there are things that you're going to go through in your lifetime that are for the purpose of the soul. However,
Yeah.
if the soul is trying to have the experience of establishing self-worth and value, it can do so by either coming up with an invention and then pushing all of that effort and work into putting that invention out there and people turning that invention into a world phenomenon like Steve Jobs did. Or you can go through an abusive relationship for 15 years and then finally speak up and end that relationship and move on and establish self-worth and value. There's different ways you can materialize an experience. It just depends on what you choose based on your energy and state of being. And state of
Yeah.
being is critical. So it just depends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think um, my big thing with the past and with the future is everything that has happened for a reason. It's up to me to determine whether I use what happened to become a victim
Hmm.
and to kind of give in and say, oh, poor me,
Yeah.
or I can use it as a learning tool to say, okay, how did that affect me? What was my role in that? What can I learn from that experience? And be open to hearing whatever comes in.
Hmm.
Sometimes the answer to something doesn't happen right when you ask. Sometimes, it's a little ways down the road that you can look back and go, oh, wait, okay, I get it. Now I know or I understand why this or this or this happened. Right. And I had an experience just last week, as a matter of fact, that I was concentrating. For some reason, childhood memories kept coming back. And it was something that normally I don't go through, but they were just kind of kept coming back more than normal. And one of them was the memory of my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother having to walk down to the butcher shop in the little town that we lived in. I was born in Yugoslavia, which was a communist country then,
Hmm.
and they would have to line up, early in the morning to get something from the butcher. And it
Hmm.
wasn't a case of once you got there, you could pick and say, oh, I'd like to have some pork and give me those sausages. No,
Hmm.
you got what was given to you.
First come, first serve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So um, one of the things that I did in my adult life, particularly when I started working and I was on my own, is any little bit of extra money that I got, I had to go to the grocery store and I just had to buy things so that there was lots of stuff in the cupboards. And I
Hmm.
couldn't understand for a very, very long time why that was. Why did I need to do that? It's not like I don't have anything in the cupboard, but it just had to be stocked. And then as I was going through these memories last week, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, my formative years were spent living in a lack mentality where
Hmm.
there was a lot of things that we didn't have. So my experience is you live in lack, and when you get the opportunity, you stock up so that you don't feel like you're lacking anything.
Hmm.
And it felt like a great big weight off my shoulders, like, oh man, I live in abundance. Like, no,
Yeah.
that was then, this is now. Let it go.
Hmm.
Right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, talking about things coming up later, yeah, it may take some time, but
Yeah.
that's
It's also a good strategy for teaching yourself prosperity because I went through the same experience. My mother was a single mother and she didn't earn enough money, and we
yeah,
lived off food stamps and government aid and government help. And so without that and the food banks that my mom would go to and get free food, we wouldn't have food. And
yeah,
I was always I always struggled with that. So as I became older, and now when I go to the grocery store, I don't have to think about the cost of something. I mean, nowadays I look at prices just because some things are
yeah,
like I'm not spending $10 for some eggs. Like it's not gonna happen. I was
yeah,
just
no,
looking at eggs. It's just not gonna happen. Like it's just it has to be worth it for me. but nowadays, if I want something, I just put it in the basket and put it in the basket, and I don't have to think about the price or how much it's going to cost me at the end
Yes.
because I know I can afford it. And I make myself just not look at the price unless it's like I said, a gaping price. But I
Yeah.
make myself just get what I want and not think about it and assume that it's going to be taken care of and I will be able to afford that and it will be no
Exactly.
problem. And
Exactly.
it's something that I've gotten so used to now for what I'm almost 5 years, 6 years, where my life has gone into a place of abundance. But it took years to decondition and to train myself to live
Yes.
from a state of abundance because I came from that mindset of lack. And it was a hard time in my life, and it stays with you for a long time unless you work at it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And it is almost an everyday process.
Yeah.
And yeah, I on my vision board or whatever, yeah, I am now ready, willing, and able to accept abundance in all areas of my life. And I look at that at least once a day
Hmm.
and say, yes, I'm grateful. I live in abundance. I have abundance. I'm grateful for that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and not only
yeah.
that, one important trick for creating abundance is by providing abundance for someone else.
Yes.
Without if if I'm going out to eat, I will invite someone to come with me, and I will treat them to dinner or treat them to a meal, just because it gives me an opportunity to give them something that when I was a child I didn't have the opportunity to experience. And I always, they always say tip 15% or 14%. I always tip like extra that is a
Yeah.
bit like it's it's ridiculously extra just because I have to teach myself that I am in abundance. Plus, I only eat out what 2 or 3 times a month. I don't eat out very often,
Yeah.
so I can tip that person an extra
Yeah.
$10 or $15. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly.
So it's okay. But it teaches me to be abundant with the people in my life and also with strangers because if I can operate from the mindset of there's more than enough and I have more than enough to give away without
Yeah.
feeling bad about it, it
Yes.
creates more and generates more abundance.
And it does.
Hmm.
And it does. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Totally, totally agree with you.
Hmm.
And before I let you go, Katrina, yeah, her question was missed and she just wanted to know if her heart monitor results come back this week and if there are any concerns. And yes, I'm thinking by Thursday, and no, there's no major concerns. So
Yeah, I'm getting that there's something going on with the nervous system. So something might be happening within the nervous system that is triggering irregular heart rates or
mhm,
heartbeats. The heart itself, I feel, is fine. I feel it's the nervous system or the impulses going to the heart that are triggering something. So when the monitor results come back, they may see some anomalies there that might indicate something is going on, but not enough to say something's drastically wrong with the heart. Like
yeah,
I'm not thinking that either. I'm thinking it's something completely different with the nervous system.
there you go.
Hmm.
All righty. Excellent. Oh, Trisha. Okay. I'm sorry, Trisha, that I missed your question. And hi, Jill. We're just getting ready to say goodbye. So thank you all for being with us. Thank you for spending your part of your Sunday with us. Don't
Hmm.
forget to go over to Ferny's channel, give him a like, share, subscribe, go to his website, look at all the things on there that are on there, all the predictions that he's made, that he's been right about, um, and the interviews that he's done, and all kinds of great stuff. So yeah, that would be absolutely wonderful if you did that. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here and help him get to 2,000. And don't forget the class and the giveaway. Just go to the community tab on my page and you'll get all the information there. So that's that. Ferny, we have to do this again.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. We'll certainly do this again. Thank you, thank you, thank you for spending your Sunday with me. I enjoyed it very much.
Oh, you're welcome,
Yeah.
sweetheart. I'm happy to
Oh,
be here.
excellent. Okay, well, you know what? After this, we'll see if we can't tee up a time right now so that I don't have to
Figure it
wonder. Figure
out.
it out. Absolutely. Okay, everyone. You have a great, super rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.